Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. Well, we have a new patch that's out for set number 9. We were looking at the list of patch changes that was posted a day or two before the patch came out. And in our internal discussions, we're like, oh, they can't possibly go live with some of these proposed changes, right? Because if this goes live, Invokers is going to be a stupidly overpowered team composition. And it turned out that the patch did go live with those changes. And sure enough, Invokers is a stupidly overpowered team composition, largely based around the use of Taric, who's not even an Invoker unit. So anyway, we're going to take a look at that in this game. This game was played very shortly after the patch came out, just a few hours after it initially released. And I don't think everyone had quite adjusted to the new patch yet, but as you'll see, there were a couple other players who are also running a similar build to me, and we're going to see exactly why this setup is so broken and almost certainly is going to get a hot fix. I suspect Taric is going to get hot fixed very soon, so we'll talk about that as it goes on. Okay, first things first, we ended up getting a portal, and the portal for this game is the Scuttle Puddle, which turns all of the neutral monsters into little scuttle crabs. The net effect that it has is you just get more gold overall as compared to what you normally get. So your economy is a little bit higher than it would be in a normal game. Now, when the Sona dropped, I was initially thinking, oh, maybe this is a Sorks game because I did want to try out Sorks. The Sorcerers also ended up getting a lot stronger in this patch. But then I get dropped 3 Cassiopeias from this initial minion round. I was like, oh, okay, well, it probably should just be Invokers. I had done an Invokers game right before this one, where I finished second, and that was behind someone who had played a rush to level 9. And then I also get a Lysandra here, so it's like, oh yeah, it's Invokers. I came in second to someone who rushed to level 9. They actually played 8 2-star legendary units on level 9 because they got a huge cash out on the Piltover T-Hex, and they were actually able to get a ridiculous amount of gold and a tactician's crown and all that. But anyway, I was able to beat every other board other than that one pretty easily while running Invokers. And I was like, well, let's just run it back. Let's try it again here. And I also have a Soraka, so now I just need to find either Galio or Karma in order to have a 4 Invokers board, which is what I'm going to shoot for. I did a live commentary on Invokers, I think posted about a week ago from when this video got posted. And, prior to this patch coming out, Invokers were, they were a playable comp if you hit the pieces. It wasn't something you would go out of your way to force, but it is something that was playable if you kind of, like I said, hit the right augments, hit the right champions. It could be pretty strong. Here, I'm going to go ahead and sell to get to 10 gold. You really want to be 10 gold on if you get Scuttle Puddle because Scuttle Puddle gives you a lot of extra money. Note that I have a 3-cost Lysandra, a 2-star Cassiopeia, a Swain, and a Soraka all on my board here. So that's like 10 gold worth of champions, and I'm still able to get to 10 gold here. But you really want to hit 10 gold by the end of the 3rd minion stage because it helps accelerate your economy. Anyway, so like I said, Invoker... Oh, we should do the initial augments, by the way. You have my bow. You would never want the Noxus one, no. Escort Quest, maybe. It would give me extra gold, but I just opted to go with the generic Vlad combat augment. And unfortunately, I am not able to find a Galio here or a Karma. Galio would actually probably be a little bit better because then I could itemize Galio as the primary tank. So I do need something to serve as frontline, so I'm going to have Swain stand up there and be a frontliner for me. He's not really what I'm looking for, but he's better than any other option that I have. As I said, I do need someone to frontline for me. Okay, so what is it that Invokers do? Well, this is the trait that generates mana. That's effectively what it does, and higher tiers of the trait generate more mana. I will read the official description here. Invokers were not really played, as I said in previous patches. They were viable, but they were like a 2nd tier, 3rd tier team composition. All right, Invoker, allies restore mana every 3 seconds. Invoker is 5 mana for your whole team every 3 seconds. Invoker 2 is, it's nice. It's something you can splash in. Not really the focus of the team. But then as you get more Invokers, it increases the mana generation. Invoker 4 is a big spike. Everyone gets 5 mana 5 mana every 3 seconds. But at Invoker 4, Invokers themselves gain an additional 15 mana. So they are generating 20 mana every 3 seconds at Invoker 4. This round, by the way, I knew I was not going to win. This person's running a Void board, and they have a 2-star Cho with Gargoyle's Stoneplate, plus what was the other item that they had? An Anima Visage for health regeneration. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to kill that. In the meantime, though, I will go ahead and toss in this Teemo. Basically, I wanted to make an Archangel Staff, but I want the Archangel Staff to be on Karma. It's actually a very good item on Karma, but I haven't found Karma yet. I didn't want to put it on Soraka because I'd have to sell and I'd have to sell the Soraka to transfer it, and I don't want to do that. And I could put it on Cassiopeia, but again, Cassiopeia is going to stay on this board for most of the game. I don't really want to have to sell her. So even though Teemo is not an Invoker and he will not get the Invoker mana generation, I'm going to put this on him. Now, note what's here. This is a person who's playing the exact same board. They're also looking to go into Invokers, and they've actually already found 2 Tarics already. They got a very, very, very good augment right there. They got an augment that gives, gives Targon units, I believe, additional attack speed, plus gave them several Targon units to start the game. I think that's how they got the Tarics. And Taric is the most overpowered unit in this patch, so that was a really, really, really good augment that was offered to them. I would have, given a lot in this game to have gotten that. I did actually beat their board, though. That's because they don't have any damage on their board just yet. They had the 2 Tarics, but they did not have any way to deal damage. So I'm just making do with what I have here. I have kind of this rickety board that's not very good, honestly. But I'm hoping that I can find a couple more units. I'm close to being pretty strong. If I could find a Galio or a Karma, I'd get a lot stronger, because then I could move my damage item, my Archangels, over to Karma, and then I'd be able to move my tank items over to Taric. Now, look at this board right here. I want to pay attention to this. This board, I have no 2-star units on my board. This person has a 2-star Renekton and a 2-star Jhin, and they're running an Ionia board. So I should lose this round 100%, right? There's no way that I end up winning this round against this board. Well, but Soraka just keeps healing, and Teemo keeps tossing out mushrooms, and I was like, wait, what? And then I'm going to sell the Swain to get to 20 gold, because I don't actually care about Swain. Somehow I win that round. Like, there is no reason I should win that round. That person had multiple 2-stars. I had no 2 stars. And it's not like their board made no sense or something. They were running a pretty standard Ionia early game board. But, Jhin got nerfed in this patch, and the units I have are just really, really strong in this patch. All right, so I was looking for an Invoker. There's no Invokers on this board that I can take. I have the option to take a frontline item here. I don't really want to take a tier, because a tier, you actually don't really want many items that build out of tiers for this board. That's because Invokers generate mana naturally, so they don't need, like, Spear of Shojin. They don't need a... what's the other word I'm looking for? They don't need Spear of Shojin. They don't need Blue Buff, because they generate mana naturally already, so you really don't need that with them. And then on this board, I was like, what do I play here? Do I take out the Teemo? I was like, no, actually I can probably get Freljord trait in if I play the Ashe together with the Lysandra. I think that's better, or do I just play 2 Sorakas here? Not exactly sure. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, I can play Orianna and get Sork trait in so that Swain does a little bit of extra damage. I think that might be better. It might be better just to play Freljord trait here, though. I'm not exactly sure. But this will make Swain a little bit stronger. All right, now here's another board that has multiple 2-stars. They have 2-star Cho and 2-star Malzahar, and they're playing Void, which is strong early game. Void falls off. Oh, and they also have 2-star Viego as well. So they have 3 2-star units on their board. So obviously I have to lose this round, right? I have no 2-star units on my board, right? Well, not only do I not lose this round, I don't lose a single unit. That person killed nothing, not even 1 unit. So it was like, wait, what? So if you're curious what's going on here, it's just, and then here we go. Here's the big hit. I'm going to find the Taric. And I also hit 2-star Soraka. So now I'm going to move this item over to the Taric. And I should also pick up the Swain here. And I'm going to move my Archangels over to the Orianna. But what I really should do here is I should just sell the Ori and play Swain, because Swain is a much better Sork. Orianna did get reworked in this patch. She was reworked, so she was basically the worst unit in the game. Like, the entire game, she was just completely useless. But they reworked her ability so that now, after she uses her cast and puts a shield on someone, her next auto attack deals bonus magic damage. But she was just such a bad unit prior to this. She was basically, like, not even in the game unless you're trying to play Piltover and just get another unit in to activate the Piltover trait. Otherwise, no one played her. But now she's actually a pretty decent unit. So that's a big change as well. Anyway, I win 4 out of 5 rounds with my complete garbage board. It's all 1-stars. I guess I just hit Soraka. Oh, that's not true. I did have Cassiopeia 2-star. I should have mentioned that. I hit the Cass 2-star from the very beginning of the game. But still, that should not have been a strong enough board to win streak. It just shouldn't have been. But I was able to win streak anyway, everything except that first round. And by the way, here I should probably sell the Oriana and replace with Vel'Koz, who is again a much better unit to hold my casting items. Still, the star of this show is Taric. Taric was stupidly overbuffed. As I said, we were looking at the patch notes. We're like, oh, there's no way they can possibly go live with these patch changes. Taric is going to be the most overtuned unit in the game if they do this. There's just no way. Well, guess what? They did. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, it's not an accident. The developers deliberately overbuff units, and that's what they did here. By the way, look at all this money that gets dropped by the scuttle puddle crabs there. I'm able to get up to 50 gold here, so I'm going to have more econ than usual in this game. So Taric was not a very good unit. But here I'm going to find the Galio, so now I can go up to 4 Invokers. So we're going to take out the Oriana, and now we're going to put in the Swain. I probably should just honestly run the Vel'Koz over this because Vel'Koz deals more damage than Swain, and what I really need right now is damage, not tankiness. So I think that's a mistake. I think that should go on Vel'Koz instead. I think I just kind of forgot about having Vel'Koz. But anyway, now I've got the 4 Invokers in. So 4 Invokers are going to generate 20 mana for themselves every 5 seconds. Still just 5 mana per second for the other units. So Taric and Swain are not going to have crazy mana generation, but the Soraka and the Cassiopeia are going to generate mana really fast, along with Lysandra and Galio, since they are the Invoker units. But Taric is really the focus of this team, and that's because Taric is just... It's like not possible to kill him unless you have very heavy damage or a heal cut. Look at the healing and shielding on him. He's a 1-star unit. He tanked the entire enemy team. He does not die. He barely even takes any damage. Well, I guess he did get low in that fight, but it's just almost impossible to kill this unit. And that's the real problem because this unit was overbuffed way too far. And I'll read his ability description in a second, but... let's get through this augment right here because we're going to have another augment popping up. Now, this one is going to be relatively low impact. It's a silver augment. So I don't want Young and Wild and Free. Sorcerer Heart, no, that's not really going to help me. Medium and Chopping, Indomitable. None of these are that great. So I'm just going to take Cybernetic Bulk. Your champions holding an item gain extra health. So that's good. It's nothing special, but I think it's better than the other options available here. Nothing here really hit my board on that. Okay, so back to Taric, as I said. Taric has 3 traits, Sorcerer, Bastion, Targon. And in the initial patches for this set, he was basically just a trait bot. He was not a very good unit. You would not want to itemize him because there were better tanks, and he didn't really do that much. His ability is called Radiance. Gain a shield for 6 seconds. It absorbs damage received by adjacent allies. So Taric, when his mana bar fills up, he gets a shield. And he can also absorb damage from allied units standing next to him. Again, his shield was not especially great. Nothing all that big of a deal. Well, guess what happened in this patch? Taric, for some reason, got buffed to crazy degree. So what they did in this patch was they increased the value of his shield. Prior to this, it was 400 at rank 1. 475 at rank 2. Now it's 550 at rank 1, 650 at rank 2. So that's like what? That's like a 30% increase in the shield value. That's pretty big. Did he really need that? I don't think so. So yeah, massive buff to the power of his shield. And then the other thing they did, they cut his mana cost. His mana cost used to be 90. It's 55! 90 to 55, are you kidding me? Like, I'm sorry to get so excited here, but come on! It was the most predictable thing ever that this unit would be super overtuned once you do that. They basically cut his mana cost in half from 90 to 55. Are you kidding me? So yes, he is mana locked while the shield is in place. What that means is while the shield is on him, he cannot generate additional mana. But still, I mean, come on! What did you think was going to happen to this guy? So now he has a shield that's like, 30 to 35% stronger, and he generates mana at a ridiculous rate. Plus, he also gives you the Targon trait and the Bastion trait. He gets extra armor and magic resistance when Bastion's in, which I do not have in at the moment. As you're seeing me going up against this person who's doing Noxus reroll. They rerolled for Cassiopeia 3-star and Samira 3-star, which is really interesting. When you play Noxus reroll, you reroll for your 3 cost, not your 1 cost. I've never seen that before, but they are able to beat me. And the biggest issue is I just don't have any damage on my board right now. So the Taric is really tanky But again, I'm pretty much all 1-stars. I have 2-star Soraka, 2-star Cassiopeia. Everything else is 1-star. So it's not like I'm crazy high rolling this board or something. And you saw Taric just absorbed a tremendous amount of punishment. If I can just get him up to 2-star, I'll be feeling a lot better here. All right, so what am I looking for here? Well, I can look to continue itemizing the Taric, or I can look to get some items for a future karma. Now, I have this glove, but I was like, I'm not really sure what I want. I'll just take the cloak here. There wasn't really anything that I wanted there, unfortunately. I wouldn't have minded a belt for Sunfire Cape, because you really need a heal cut in your team now, and I unfortunately don't have that. I also wouldn't have minded something that like a rod to pair with the glove. By the way, you see me, there we go. I wanted to roll a little bit here. You see me put in the ash so I get Throw Your Trait in. But then I'm able to find the karma, so that's great. Now, I really would like to find Shen, because Shen will let me get up to 6 invokers, and that is a big, big spike. But I don't want to roll any more here. I think I can afford to be patient. I did want to roll a little bit of gold there so I could find another unit. I'm able to find the karma. And that's big because now my damage item, the Archangel Staff, is on an actual Invoker as opposed to being on Swain, who is not an Invoker. And honestly, Swain's more of a tank than a damage dealer anyway. So this should be a lot better. Now, note what's going on here. This person is also playing a Invokers board. So that's this person, the Noggin, is playing an Invokers board. And there's another person also playing it as well. Cecilia Losed is also playing it. So this is a 3-way contest for these units, which means that these units are going to be very, very contested in this lobby. It looks like people are aware that this is a strong build, a really overtuned build, and 3 of the 8 players in the lobby are going to be contesting it. So that does mean that I have to change up how I want to play the game a little bit. It's going to be very difficult to 3-star these units. Typically, if you're playing Invokers, the goal is get to level 7, and then you slow roll on 7 to try to 3-star your 3 costs. So that would be Taric, who's your main tank, and then Lysandra, who's a 3 cost as well. And then finally Karma, who's the main carry, is also a 3 cost. So this person, and I'm actually looking at these other players. By the way, this person somehow got a Targon emblem. I'm like, how did they get a Targon emblem? They didn't get it from their augments. There's nothing there that would have given them a Targon emblem. And it's not like we're running a portal that's going to give everybody a free emblem or something like that. So they must have just gotten a Tome of Traits from their they must have gotten a Tome of Traits from the Scuttle Puddle and then pulled the Targon emblem, which is just a ridiculous high roll. So they have this awesome augment to play Targon, and then they also pulled a Targon emblem as well. So yeah, they're really hitting quite hard with that. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to deal with someone who is playing the same build as me but has better augments and has pulled an emblem for Targon, which would be really nice. Okay, now that was the Void player. I'm not able to overcome them. That Void player actually has not lost a round yet, but I do think I can probably outscale them if the game goes on long enough, because Void is something that's really strong early game and then falls off. So again, I'm staying here on level 7. I'm going to roll here. I need to roll to at least 2-star Karma and 2-star Taric. That's what I'm really looking for here. At least I am getting some more 2-stars. I 2-starred the Ash, which is definitely not what I'm looking for, but I mean, I'm playing it just to get the Throw Your Trait in play. Okay, so what we're really looking for here is Shen. I would happily take Shen and then drop Ash. Throw Your Trait is definitely not bad, but 6 Invokers is better. And then, oof, I get a Bow. Bow is the one item you don't want with this board. I do get another Galio. That's nice. That's going to let me play 2-star Galio. And then I get some other good stuff here as well. The Sword and the Rod are much better for what I want to run here. So I could go ahead and make a Gunblade, which is really good on Karma. But the problem is I've got this Bow. And by the way, there's still someone who's like AFK in this lobby. They just weren't even here. We had like a 4-minute queue on the loading screen. And I think some people just disconnected. All right, so there's another Taric. That's good. Aatrox is not going to do anything for me in this board. All right, there's 2-star Taric, so that's big. And I could play Sejuani over Ash, potentially. I'm just really looking for another Karma. And then I hit the Karma, so I was like, okay. As soon as I hit that Karma, I think I can stop here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make a Jeweled Gauntlet, and I'm going to go ahead and make a Giant Slayer, which are pretty good items for Karma overall. You would prefer to have a Gunblade here. The problem is, and I could have made a Gunblade, but if I make the Gunblade, how am I using this bow? Right? I have this bow that is really useless on my board. So I go ahead and use take the sword and the bow to make Giant Slayer, because, as I said, I really have nothing else I can do with this bow. And that allows me to kill the bow, and then I'm also able to make a Jeweled Gauntlet, which is really good for Karma. So I'm quite content with these items. I think Gunblade is... you'd prefer to have a Gunblade over having the Giant Slayer. That's a little bit better. because that way Karma could heal the front line when she's dealing damage as well. But you know, this is pretty good overall. I'm certainly not going to complain about this. These are quite good, and I don't see any need to try to greed like more perfect items. By the way, here, look how long this Taric tanks. That's the one of the other players. That's the person who pulled the Targon emblem. Their Taric just tanks absolutely forever. But the Void board does still win in the end. And then, oh, look at this. Targon Heart. Your team counts as having 1 additional Targon. Gain a Soraka. I could get an Invoker crest, but I'm confident I can get up to 6 Invokers. And, whoa, there's the high roll moment of the game. I hit a Rise on 1% odds, and that's going to get me up to 6 Invokers. So now I don't need Shen. I can just go straight to... I can look to go straight to level 8. I've actually 2-starred everything on the board except Rise, because that's not going to happen. So I was like... I can stay here and try to reroll further, but it's going to be really hard to hit Karma 3-star because 2 other people are playing Karma in the lobby, and 2 other people are playing Taric, and 2 other people are playing Lissandra. These units are super contested, so I don't think it makes a lot of sense to stay here and try to go for the 3 stars. I think it makes much more sense to try to go to level 8 and level 9, because there actually are 5-cost units you want to play on this board. Rise is one of them. So I've been able to get Rise in. And I also need to find Shen. Shen would replace Cassiopeia. And now that I've pulled the Targon emblem, I really want to play Aphelios as well. By the way, here is the person I've been mentioning, the person who pulled the Targon emblem. They have, I think they have 4 Targon in right now. So I'll talk more about that in a second. By the way, the health bars bug out here, but you can see I'm just not really dealing any damage to this board because the healing and shielding is completely out of control. Their Taric is also better itemized than mine. They have the Warmogs, the Dragon's Claw, Protector's Vow. That unit is definitely stronger than my Taric. So I've been talking about the Targon trait. Let's just go ahead and cover that as well while we've got a minute here. So let me read the description. This is a trait that hasn't been played much. I did a video in the past where there was this strategy where you would play Targon and Bastion, and you would stack all these lockets, but that got nerfed into the ground and it's no longer viable. Anyway, so what does Targon do? Your healing and shielding is increased. So Targon 2 is 20% increased healing and shielding. You're always going to want this if you're playing this Invokers board because you're going to want to play Soraka and you want to play Taric, and they both have the Targon trait. So Targon 2, 20% increased healing and shielding. Targon 3, 40% increased healing and shielding. You need Aphelios for that, or the emblem. I hit the emblem, so now I've got that. And then Targon 4, which requires an emblem because there's only 3 Targon units. 70% increased healing and shielding. Oh yeah, guess what my team's doing? We're doing a lot of healing and shielding, aren't we? So if I can go to level 8 and play Aphelios, I'll have 70% increased healing and shielding. And like, look what happens against some of these boards. So, like that person, I can't remember what they were re-rolling for something there. I'm not quite sure what their board was supposed to be, but this is why this board is so problematic. It's really hard to get through the amount of shielding and healing that is on these boards. The 6 Invokers feeds insane amounts of mana to the whole team. And I should read what the 6 Invokers does. I haven't done that yet. And then Targon provides, amps up the healing and shielding to a degree that's just stupid. And like, if you saw that other team, they just did no damage. Like, they literally did no damage to me whatsoever. They didn't kill a single unit. So like, if you can't overcome the healing and shielding, you just kill nothing. And you just take, you just get like 7-0, 8-0 in terms of the units. And you take 15 damage. It's so punishing because if you can't get through the Taric, you're just donezo. All right, so I went ahead and took the belt there. It was very important I get a Sunfire because I have to have a heal cut in my team. Remember, I'm up against some other boards that are doing the same thing as well. So I need to be able to reduce the healing on these other boards. It's very important that I have a heal cut. And it's very important that other people against me have a heal cut as well. If they don't have a way to cut down on the healing, you're just not going to beat this board. So like you really need to itemize Sunfire Cape, I guess Morello's, or have units that innately deal a healing debuff. All right, so here's another person that's playing this. This is the other person, the Noggin, who's also playing this comp. And they don't have a heal cut on their board. Yeah, so that's kind of a problem, right? I mean, they have 2-star Karma. They've also managed to find a Rise. They have a lot of Tarics as well, and they have a Champion Duplication. They're probably going to hit Taric 3-star, but they have no heal cut. So what happens? Do they kill even one unit on my board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they kill nothing. They kill 0 units on my board. That is an 8-0 victory. So that's why this build is so punishing. If you don't have a way to get through Taric shielding, it just gets absurd, and you just get 8-0'd in rounds like that. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, well, as I said, I haven't had a chance to cover the 6 Invoker portion of this yet. So remember how I said Invoker allies restore additional mana? Invoker 6 is 20 mana per 5 seconds for the whole team, and then 15 additional mana for Invokers. So the non-Invokers are getting 20 mana every 3 seconds. Or every 3 seconds? I thought it was every 5 seconds. Jesus. 20 mana every 3 seconds. Invokers are getting 35 mana every 3 seconds. I mean, that's a lot of mana generation, 35 every 3 seconds. So the Karma, this is why you don't need like a Spear of Shojin or blue buff. That other person I was just up against, I think they had a blue buff on their Karma, which is a mistake. You don't want to have that. They don't need mana generation because they just get it from the trait. They need additional damage and stuff like Gunblade for healing and whatnot. Now, this fight's a little bit sad. Taric was about to get off another spell, and he just barely got popped before he could get his spell off. But does that even matter? Don't we just win this fight anyway? And the answer is yes. Yes, we do win this fight anyway. So even in a case where Taric only got off one cast before he got popped by some of the Noxus 3-stars, it still doesn't matter. We still win the round easily anyway. Well, not easily, but still end up winning the round anyway. Now, you might have seen that I have this Nasus on my bench, and that's due to the fact that we are in a Yordle portal, which means that Ryze's abilities will change. He hasn't gotten played too much in this set yet, so people might not be super familiar with him, but depending on which portal you have, Ryze's abilities change. There's actually 10 different abilities on Ryze, because there's 10 different types of portals, in this set. And the Yordle portal, the Bandle City, the Yordle one, causes him to throw in units off the bench. So I'm trying to get some units on the bench that he can toss into the rest of the team. By the way, there's going to be another Karma, but as I said, I haven't gotten especially close. Now, I'm trying to find Shen here. It's what I'm really looking for. I could pick up the Sorakas, but I really don't think I'm going to 3-star Soraka this late in the game. So I did want to roll a little bit here to see what I could find. And now I need to build some more items, so let's go ahead and we're going to make a Dragon's Claw there. And then in addition to these other items, I was like, what can I do out of these items? What can I do? What can I do? I was like, oh, you know what I can do? I can make a Static Shiv because that'll give a magic resistance debuff. I'm not playing Froyard trait, so I don't have an MR Shred on my team. And then I can make Ionic Spark for Galio, another frontliner. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think this is just about as good as I could do with these items. So anyway, there's Ryze tossing in the units. This is probably not my preferred portal for Ryze to have. There's some other ones that are really nice. The Froyard portal is supposed to be really overpowered. And the Zaun one is not bad either. That's the one that I actually used that in one of the live commentaries I posted. By the way, look at another victory where my team doesn't even lose a single unit. Another one that's good, as I said, is Zaun, because he like opens up these little portals and tosses out additional stuff, but basically stuff that adds damage, because this board is a little low in terms of actual damage. Okay, now I have a decision to make again. I can stay here on level 8 and slow roll on 8 to try to 3-star Karma, or I can try to go to level 9 and then play more legendary units on my board. Again, because there are 3 of us playing this team comp, I just don't think it's very consistent to try to get to level 9. Or excuse me, I don't think it's that consistent to go for the 3 stars. There's too many Karmas out of the pool. There's too many Tarics out of the pool. I'm actually up against the player who has 3-star Taric. Yeah, so you see they have 3-star Taric, but the Taric, they do not have any heal cut on their team. There's no anti-healing on their board, and their Karma is misitemized. Karma has a blue buff. She doesn't need a blue buff. She generates tons of mana anyway. She does not need a blue buff. She needs something that increases her damage. So this is a relatively close fight, closer than some of the others we've seen, but 3-star Taric goes down. My board that does not have any 3 stars on it still wins, and wins pretty decisively here. And that's actually going to knock this player out of the lobby. So down they go. Yeah, so now that they're out of the lobby, I could actually try to go for the 3 stars, but like I have 4 Karmas and I have 4 Tarics, so I'm not especially close. Meanwhile, I am only 40 gold off of hitting level 9, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go level 9. I want to find Ryze 2-star. I want to find Ari, who's the other unit I want to play on this board. And then I also want to get Shen in. Shen will replace Cassiopeia. I think, again, that's better and more consistent than rolling for the 3 stars. It's probably a little bit less likely that I win the lobby, because normally you need to 3-star Karma to win the lobby. But it's definitely more consistent in terms of top 4ing. And I just think it makes more sense to head in that direction. I will go ahead and pick up the Cassante, because he can be thrown in off the bench by Ryze. Now, unfortunately, I'm holding these extra Invokers on my bench too, so Ryze, it's random what unit he picks up and throws in. But there's also the potential for that too. Like maybe I can 2-star Cassante or 2-star Scion, although it's going to be a little harder because this person has 2-star Scion. And by the way, look at how easily I'm beating this Void board. This person has 2-star Scion. They're level 9 and playing their Void board. They just do nothing against me. Like, my whole team is still alive. They just did absolutely nothing against me. It's just kind of incredible how weak that board is, which is a level 9 board with 2-star Kaisa, 2-star Scion. They didn't get the Void Emblem, so they don't have Baron Nashor in. But I mean, like, Jesus. It feels like that board is pretty strong. You'd think that they do a little bit better than that. But no, not the case. Anyway, here, I definitely want the Rise here. I'm a little surprised that the other Invokers player, Cecilia's Locid, I don't know what that name is. I'm a little surprised they didn't take that. And there's a Protector's Vow on there too, which is not a bad item. I'll go ahead and put that on the Galio. It's a bit of a shame that I wasn't able to like 3-star Galio as well, because 3-star Galio is a fantastic tank as well. It's just that Taric is so ridiculously overtuned in this patch that you might as well itemize Taric because he's just a better unit. Anyway, this person's on 7 karmas, and that's a bad sign. They're only 2 karmas off. And they are correctly staying at level 8. I think if I was on like 6 or 7 karmas, I would also look to maybe go for the 3-star, but I'm only on 4. And I just haven't seen karmas throughout this game that much. I did 2-star her, but I just haven't seen her that much. Again, I made the decision to push levels as opposed to trying to stay at a lower level and re-roll or slow roll for the karma 3-star. So I think based on the units I was seeing, I think that this makes sense. But yeah, I definitely would prefer to be in the running for 3-star karma. And I actually lose that one pretty badly. That fight wasn't especially close. I wasn't able to get through the Taric, unfortunately. The Dragon's Claw on their Taric plus the Warmog's doing an awful lot of work. So I've beaten every other board here, but I wasn't able to beat that one. And they've been win streaking for a while, which is bad for me because they're going to have more gold to roll for 3-star karma. But it is what it is. I am on 6 Taric, so I am getting closer to 3-star Taric at least. And they're going to hit Lysandra, but they only have 2-star Lysandra. They don't actually have... They're not actually close to 3-star Lysandra. So 6 Tarics, I might be able to hit that, but I do think it makes more sense. I'm so close to level 9 now. Let's go to level 9. 2-star Rise is a big boost. And then I can hopefully find Ahri. If I can find 2-star Rise, 2-star Ahri, and then put Shen in, I'll be feeling pretty comfortable that I have a good chance against these other boards. Now I'm up against the Noxus player, and this Noxus player has 3-starred every single one of their units, which is pretty wild. They are playing 7 Noxus units, or 6 Noxus units, plus they've also got an Aurelia in there, and every single one of them is 3-starred. As I said, pretty wild. Their itemization is actually very questionable here. They don't have anything on, they don't have like nothing on Darius or Katarina, and they have all their tank items on Aurelia instead of on Swain. So if they had itemized their board a little bit better, this would be scarier. But I think that they do win this round. Again, I've mostly been econing all through stage 5, whereas they've been rolling. So I am going to lose this knockdown to 28 HP. But I'm going to have a lot of money to roll with here on level 9. So hopefully I'll be able to find some more good stuff. So what am I going to look for? I want Rise 2-star, I want Ahri, I want Shen, and then I want units that can be thrown in off the bench, and we'll see how close we can get. By the way, this person's playing Rise. I have no idea why they're playing Rise on their board. I literally have no clue why they're holding Rises over there. Just to troll the rest of us, those of us who are actually playing Rise? I don't know. But he definitely feels like he's a pretty strong unit in this patch. Anyway, that's what I wanted a normal round. I want Cassante to get thrown in. Of course, it's the Scuttle Puddle round that gets thrown in. There's another Karma. Okay, that's good. More Karmas out of the pool are always good. Now we're rolling here. Can we find... There's Ahri, so that's great. We'll put her in. Make Sork straight. Together with the... What's the other Sork unit that we have on the board? Oh, with Taric, so that's nice. Now we're rolling... There's another Ahri. Okay, that's 2 out of 3. Can we find Shen? Yeah, I just found Shen. Okay, there's Heimer. Heimer's not really a good unit to throw in off the bench, though. I suppose I could try to play Heimer as well. I have been seeing some Heimers, but I don't know. And then here, as far as items, I wasn't sure what to pick up. I ended up picking up Redemption because it's a good frontline item. I think in retrospect, maybe I should have tried to take like the Hand of Justice for Ahri or Rise, or even maybe the, what's his name? The Aphelios. Aphelios is really in here just as a trait bot, but you know, he has a 2-star 4 cost. Once again, I'm up against the Void player, and again, I have to point out, this team just does no damage. Like, they don't kill... Do they kill even one unit on my team? It's pretty ugly over there. It's not close. So, yeah. Not great for them. Anyway, I'm going to keep rolling here, and these are not quite the units. There's another Cassante. I'll definitely take that. I would love to have, like, a 2-star Cassante to throw in. I'm actually going to clear my bench of the Lysandras, because I don't think I'm going to hit that, nor do I really care about that unit that much. All right, good news. That player is still on... 7 karmas. They have not gotten up to an 8th one, so that's good news there. And now I'm going to reposition a little bit. Let's put Shen and Galio up on the front lines a little bit. And 2-star Ari is actually going to help a lot. Now I need to try to find an Ari item. So Ari did get buffed in this patch. The biggest thing that she did was she had an incredibly slow casting animation. They have sped up her casting animation. She's a weird unit in the sense that her first two, when she has her initial cast, it kind of like tosses out this chain lightning that hits nearby units. Her third cast, though, hits the entire board. It's that giant blue wave that spreads out. And by the way, you see I'm winning this round pretty easily against this player now that I have a 2-star Ari and I have the Rise in there as well. So my hope is just that I can beat them before they manage to find 2 more karmas. They do have quite a bit of gold to roll with, though. So I just have to cross my fingers and hope that if they roll down that they're not going to hit. And then I hit 2-star Rise. So I was like, oh, that's a biggie. 2-star Rise is going to help a lot. He's another invoker. He's going to be tossing units on the board. And it looks like this person's doing their roll down. So they have hit 2-star Rise as well. So I was initially like, I'm going to go ahead and lock for this. But then I changed my mind. I was like, you know what? I don't really care that much about Cassante. Let's just sell the Cassante so I can unlock and have more, have a free shop on the next round. So 2-star Rise now. And I've 2-starred my whole board. So now it's really just, can I hit one of my 3-stars or load up my bench with more of these, or load up my bench with more units that Rise can throw in. So I'm also going to look for Ari items here as well because she's another damage dealer in her own right. And she's going to be casting pretty fast. She doesn't have like a blue buff or something. I'd love to give her a blue buff, but she's going to be casting pretty fast given that I have Invokers 6 in. And of course her ability is going to hit the whole board and deal quite a bit of damage. So this is up against the Noxus board. Remember, I lost to this last time, but I'm going to win this time around. And do they get knocked out? Yes, they get knocked out. So now it's down to just me and the other Targon player. Sure enough, me and the other Targon player. All right, what do we want here? There's not anything that's that good here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Giant Slayer. I think that's the best option. The other person was also looking for Giant Slayer. And I'm going to type, some might say that Invokers are OP now. And this person doesn't respond. All right, there's another Taric. So that's 7 Tarics. Let's see. I don't go past this, do I? Do I actually miss the Taric? No, I don't. So 7 Tarics. I'm close on that. There's a Scion. That wouldn't be bad to buy and potentially just hold on my bench. This person's rolling it down now, though. So the question is just, can they hit that Karma? They're on 8 now. They're looking for that last Karma. They're also on 7 Shens, it looks like, over there. And, well, that is disappointing. They hit the Karma, and they had about 10 gold left, or 20 gold left. They hit the Karma. Again, they rolled for it for a very long time. So it's not like this is unexpected or anything like that, but still disappointing. They absolutely could have rolled down and not hit because, let's see, I have 5 karmas out. They had 8 karmas out. That's 13 of the, how many units? There's 18 total, 3 costs. So they definitely could have avoided hitting, but now that they have 3-star Karma, I was like, don't think that I can overcome this. The Karma also has pretty smart itemization. She's got a Hand of Justice, which means it's pretty much impossible to kill her because she's going to be healing off the damage she deals. And she's also got a Shield Breaker, which is really smart because what am I doing? I'm shielding and healing for like crazy degrees. So I'm going to keep rolling here. And then my only real chance is for me to hit, maybe if I hit 3-star Taric. So I think do I end up selling some units here to try to roll for 3-star Taric? I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, they're actually on quite a few Shens as well. But no, I actually didn't do that. I should have rolled down for 3-star Taric because that's the only way I would have had a chance is maybe if I get 3-star Taric. But I did not do that. And yeah, I think the other thing I was thinking was maybe Rise can throw in Cassante and Cassante knocks the Karma off the board. That's about the only other thing that I can think of to do. But no, going to grab a Taric. And yeah, 1-star Taric. Or I actually threw in a 1-star Karma. That's not going to get it done there. So, I mean, my Karma hits the back lines, does a lot of damage, but the problem is their Karma just instantly heals up the damage dealt from the Hand of Justice, and it's a 3-star Karma. You saw I was beating this board until they 3-starred Karma, and that is the difference in this matchup. But we're playing exactly the same comp. We're literally running the exact same units. We're both running the identical units in the identical team composition, and they just hit 3-star Karma, and I did not. So, again, I think it was the right decision not to go for 3-star Karma because I never had that many Karmas to begin with. But yeah, it just they ended up hitting, and if they had missed, then I would have won the game, and because they hit, they ended up winning the game. But I'm happy with the decision I made. Anyway, well, this build is really overtuned, so Taric definitely needs a nerf. We'll see if they hotfix him, but yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care, folks.